Hey, it's DBJ. We are going to talk about words, thoughts, and feelings on railroads versus a quantum ogre. All right, so I define both of these as a railroad is 1,000 questions with a single answer. Quantum ogre is a single question with 1,000 answers, both of which must be solved. So, according to my definition, armchair definition, by the way, a railroad is a situation where the players can only solve this situation with one single answer. It is what I've referred to as the locked door syndrome, where no matter what the players decide to do, and they may come up with 1,000 different options, the game master has already decided that there is a single answer to the problem. There's a locked door. You must get through the locked door. It doesn't matter where you go or what you want to do in order to proceed through this. For the story to continue, you must unlock the door. It could be solving a riddle. It could be obtaining the MacGuffin, a gem, a kidnapped princess, etc., etc. But for some reason, it always boils down to one thing. Sometimes you could have a literal railroad. Okay, player characters, you're on a railroad. You cannot get off of the rail line no matter what you do. I try to jump off. You can't. I try to go around a corner. You can't go around a corner. You've got to go through this door. I try to dig through it. You can't. I try to teleport through it. Doesn't work. You have to unlock the door. I go back the way I came. It's locked as well. Now, sometimes players can assume due to emotional harm with other game masters that the quantum ogre effect is in fact a railroad, and they are completely different. A quantum ogre effect is a single question with 1,000 answers. And what that means in my context is that a situation cannot be avoided, but you can have any number of responses to that situation to alleviate the situation that is in front of you. So, usually a railroad begins in any number of ways and ends only a single way, whereas a quantum ogre always begins in one single manner, but can end in any number of ways. So, for example, in this situation, if I create a quantum ogre situation with the same locked door, I tell the players there is a locked door in front of you. And no matter what the players do, I give them a locked door in front of them. How they open it, how they avoid it, how they ignore it is always up to them. But I establish there is a locked door. Now I may say behind this locked door is something special. It's a special treasure with a monster. And I've already decided that no matter what locked door they come in front of, there is a monster and special treasure behind it. The player characters say, I set it on fire. Okay, you attempt to set it on fire. I blast it down with my mental telekinetic ability. Okay. We ignore the door because we're afraid of what's behind it. We go back the other way. It's fine. Doesn't matter. We come back with the key that we found 3 adventures ago to try to unlock this door. Sure. Now, quantum ogering happens when the players decide to go north, south, southeast, or west. Ugh. And a railroad would mean that I am preventing them from going in any of the directionals. No, you must go north. You cannot go south, east, or west. But a quantum ogre situation says, yes, you can go in any direction you want, but I am going to have an ogre encounter you in any direction that you travel. Now, how the players react to encountering the ogre doesn't matter. All I say is, oh, you go north, and at 3 days up the road, you hear stomping through the woods. There is snow on the ground, the temperature's getting cold, and you see barreling around the corner is an ogre with a a stick and an attitude, and he's got a barrel of ale under one arm and an attitude with a giant club in the other, and he stomps around the corner. What the players do is up to them. They can say, well, we run and hide. The wizard says, I cast a spell to turn us all invisible. Another player says, I hold out my hands and pull out my jug of wine and say, hey, good day to you, sir. And how they react is always up to them. And as a game master, I might be thinking, well, the ogre is upset because the wine tastes terrible. It tastes just like vinegar. And he's upset, and he's going to get himself a good barrel of ale. And when the player decides to share some of his ale with them, he says, well, he sits down and has a drink, and maybe his attitude alleviates, and there is no conflict. Maybe the players actually learn something about this ogre, his deal with the local dwarves who gave him this bad wine or ale or something, and then the adventure goes on. A quantum ogre is a situation that always will happen. So if these players decide to go south, I say, well, he comes up a sand dune. And I could say the same exact situation happens where he's upset with a big block of stone as a club, and he's got ale with him, and there are these dwarves who live in the sand dunes. But I've created a situation that, quote unquote, they cannot avoid, but they can solve the problem in 1,000 different ways. On a railroad, I would say, well, they encounter an ogre, and the ogre will always fight them. No matter what the players decide, they will always fight them. And that is a railroad, because that takes away the agency of, well, one player wants to talk their way out of it. No, another player wants to sneak around the situation, etc., etc. So anyway, I'm DBJ, Devabrian Jackson, the name hard to say. Please, I am a contributing writer to Critical Hit Publishing. My brainchild and my favorite is the cinematic environs. There are videos of myself both analyzing them, and there are other reviewers who are online. So, you know, if you'd like to check it out, earn a D4 by giving me a thumb, get a D6 by subscribing, maybe get a D8 by sharing this video with others in your community, earn a D10 by giving me a comment below on what you'd like to see, what you didn't like about the videos, and you know, general annoyances that you may have about what I do. And by all means, earn a D20 by visiting DriveThruRPG. We have products there with Critical Hit Publishing, both PDF and print on demand. So by the way, guys, thank you very much for the love. And as always, you know, when in doubt, role play it out.